Hi guys, how are you doing today? I've really contemplated doing, because I'm also an overthinker, so I've contemplated like putting up videos about my grief, because usually I like to just maybe write about it. A post is better because I can overthink the post for like a week, and after I've overthought it for a week, then I will like post it somewhere. So I usually tell the people in my stories that sharing my grief takes a lot out of me, but the reason why I share is because at the time when I was grieving, the resources that were available online were not, what should I say, they weren't I needed someone that I could relate to. And most of the people, like, I talk about Megan a lot, the lady who runs a page called Refuge in Grief. But she's not, she doesn't live in Uganda, she's not Ugandan, she's not African. So I share on here because I know that people can relate. People knew me and they can relate because maybe I'm Ugandan like them or I'm probably African like them. So it takes a lot, but I share because that is what I feel called to do. But also it's not easy sharing. That's why it was not easy. And to see that I've reached a point of posting this on my feed, it took a lot. But I'm like, you know what, finally, I just have to do this. But anyway, let's go away from the rambling. But now I wanted to talk to you about grief and how weird it is. Like, if you're watching this and you've grieved before, you can relate. There is a way grief is funny. Like, it hits you in the most, like when you least expect it is when it hits you. Now, I did a post where I told you that my dad used to write me letters. So the other day I was looking for something. I needed something, and I usually like pack my things in like a specific folder. I don't like mixing stuff then, because then it's hard for me to find them. And guess what I landed on? I landed on a letter from my dad. My lighting is very bad, but I'll just hide the address. But this was like, I landed on this letter. This was the last letter he wrote me, and I just broke down, like seeing his handwriting, seeing my name on there, Miss Rita Kiki Amanyire, Kampala, and he would like, my head was like so interesting. He would what should I say? Because now this is like, the address here is like his workplace address. So it would be a proper formal letter. It wasn't just like, he wouldn't just write me like normal letters. He would write me nice, intimate letters. So this is and we used to write each other letters because I also used to write to him. So I saw it. I don't think I have the boldness, because I know if I open it, I can remember every word that is in this letter, but I don't want to open it because I know I'll just break down. But it's so, what I wanted to share is that grief usually hits you when you least expect it. Like, you'll just be there. Like now, randomly, I was just looking for documents, and as you look, then you're like, oh my god, the letter is here. So my grieving friends, grief is a journey. It's something that you just have to be ready to know that certain simple things have the ability to set you off. They have the ability to trigger you. They have the ability to take you back. And I was actually telling a friend of mine that, the grief that I experience now is worse, because now I start to realize that yes, the person is gone. Like when I looked at the letter, I was like, okay, now my dad is real gone, because I'll never get a letter from him. But I'm so thankful. I've reached the level in my grief where I'm thankful that I have like such beautiful, reminders of him and what he used to be. At least I can keep those for myself. And then the other thing that was weird is I found this photo. Now, I took this photo before going for, I remember before my dad passed on, my friend had an introduction and he invited us for his introduction. So I took this picture before, and I hate this picture so much. Like, I can't even open it. It's a very beautiful picture. I don't want to even open it, huh? But if you see through it, you can see that it's a photo of me. And if you go through my page, you will see the light is jumping. Sorry about that. But if you go on my page, you'll see where I wore a gomesi. I post about a gomesi. Gomesi is traditional Chiganda attire. So I wait for that. That is the photo. So you know those people who take photos, they took this photo. And for the first time, I was like, oh my God, I actually told my friend Sarah that I was with. Like, for the first time, these people have taken a picture that I actually want to buy. Because, you know, they usually don't tell you that I'm taking the photo. They just take the photos. That's what happens at Uganda, like weddings in Uganda. They take random photos and then force you to buy them. So, I was saying, I hate that photo, and the reason why I hate it is because I will never be that person again. Like, that time I was happy, like, I had no worry. Yeah, my dad was there. The most important person, the person that I loved the most, was in the world. So for me, my life was good. So it reminds me, like, when I look at, even now, it's harder for me to look at photos of myself before. Actually, when I recently lost my photos, I think I switched phones and then I lost my photo, some of my photos. Like, if it was the before Rita, I would be so like, oh my God, all those memories, I've lost all of them. But in my mind, I'm like, I really don't care that I've lost those photos, because I don't know who that person is. And I actually hate looking at a lot of my old pictures, because most of the pictures that I have, most of the moments and the memories that I have are deeply surrounded by the presence of my dad, because I was close to him to the point of everything that I went through in life, he was there. Everything that I struggled with, he knew. So yeah, but basically that's the part I wanted to share to all my grieving friends. Grieving is a journey. Give yourself time. Speak to people who relate to grief. Draw yourself more. I think when I just lost my dad, there was advice of someone I think I saw online. I think there is a girl who had lost, I think she was an influencer, and she's from Kenya. I forget her name, but she lost her mom, and she said that like someone at the barrier told her, be drawn to people who understand your grief and who you feel comfortable around. So I think the best thing when you're grieving is to speak to people who are fellow, like, grieving as well, because they can understand to your pain. Because a lot of the things that used to frustrate me when I was grieving my dad were things where people would tell me, like, I even posted about it, I talk about it a lot on my stories. I'm like, people would tell you things like, oh, that is God's plan, oh, mnange. And I don't blame those people, because they are probably not educated about grief. But when someone is grieving, especially when it is fresh grief, they don't want to hear those stories of it was God's plan, of even me, I lost my dad when I was young. But anyway, like, there's a way people, if you know those comments, there are people who make those comments not to comfort you, but to not be present. And if you're the kind of person, please educate yourself about grief. Stop telling your friends who have lost their loved ones that is what God wanted. Like, someone should not come and tell you that their person has died, and then the next thing you're saying is, oh, maybe it was God's plan, oh, please read the Bible. No, be present for your friends. The best thing you can do for someone who is grieving, if it's your friend, please go to her home or his home, take care of them, cook for them food, because one thing that grief does is that it makes you very weak. So cook for them. If they need their laundry done, do for them laundry. If you can order in food for them and you can afford it, to do that. If you can share certain things, if you can say, can I come spend a night with you in case you're living alone and you're worried, maybe I can come spend a night with you. You ask them, do you need space? Do you need me present? Be present. Stop giving people these blanket statements, because most times you give them just because you're uncomfortable with the grief. But I believe that if someone is of importance to you, and if you really care about them, you're there even in the uncomfortable times. And a lot of people who are grieving, they struggle a lot with their friends, because they like for me, there are times, because I'm the kind of person who will not display my pain. People thought I was strong, but there are some friends of mine that I needed them to be there. I never, like, I hated it when people would tell me to be strong. I'm like, do not tell me to. How do I be strong when my dad is dead? Like, he has died, he's gone. How do you expect me to be strong? Like, I want you to be there. I want you to be of comfort. Yes, I am strong, but right now I need you as a friend to be strong for me. So please educate yourself on grief. There are very many resources online. Refuge in Grief, I recommend that page so much because it helped me very much. Follow that page, see how to talk, because she talks about how to talk to people who are grieving. And I like her because her resources are not only for people who are grieving, but for also people who are maybe around people who are grieving. Maybe it's your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your sister, your friend, your brother. So it helps when that happens. Anyway, I didn't mean for this video to be very long, but I think, you know, it was supposed to be long. So the ones who watched to the end, thank you for watching up to the end. And then the other thing you need to know about my journey, because I share a lot about my grief on my stories, and I get a lot of sorry messages in my DMs. Please, if you meet me out and I'm having my cafe Javas breakfast, or if you meet me out and I'm shooting content, or I'm at an event, or I'm at a live band, and you say hi to me, please do not tell me sorry for the loss of your dad. That's a very serious trigger for me. For me, I have moved on. I have reached a point in my life where I've accepted that my dad is gone. So if you do not know my dad, just greet me. Let's hi, tell me, oh, I love your YouTube videos. I love what you're doing on Instagram. Like, those are the things you should tell me. Please do not tell me I'm sorry for your dad's loss. My dad died about a year and something back. I have accepted, I've reached the point of my life where I've accepted that he is no longer on this earth. I am glad that he accomplished what he accomplished. He was a very good man. He impacted his community. He impacted everyone around him. If you're to talk to everyone that my dad encountered, they only have nice things to say about him. And I'm so happy about that, because then I know that I was raised by someone who was a good person, who contributed to his community, who fulfilled his purpose on earth. So I say this to say, do not feel sorry for me. Do not meet me anywhere else and tell me, unless maybe you know my dad. If you've known my dad, like a lot of my friends know my dad and my OGs, or people, because he was also someone who was involved in the church and in the community and education. So a lot of people know him. If you've encountered him, just tell me the memories, like, what did you know about my dad? What did he do? How did he make you feel? Those are the stories I like to listen. But I'm sorry for your loss, Amanyire, sorry. Oh, Nange, it is so sad. How did you deal with the pain? Please don't do that. That is a very, very serious trigger for me. But once you meet me out, always say hi. Tell me if you watch my YouTube videos, and we can start conversation from there, or Instagram, or anything. But I share, the reason why I share on here is because I know there are people here who are encouraged by my story and who relate to my story, and that is why I share. Otherwise, have a nice day. This video has become too long, but that is it. Bye.